Greetings, folks! Joker here, and welcome back to my channel. Folks, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you a little story. Now, if none of you follow me on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook, or if you don't use the little community thing on my channel, you would have missed a poll I put up. It was to tell I want to start doing story time, so I put up a poll of two options. First one was my first ever beer, and the second one was my first time having a cigarette. Now the beer story won, so that's the story we're going to be doing today. So, this story takes place when I was 8 years old. Now that would have been, let me see, so I was 11 in 2017. 2016 would have been 10. 2015 it would have been 9. So this takes place in 2014. Oh, fucking hell. 2014. Now, when I was little, from the age of 5, I would always go up to my granda's house up in Bishop's Court. If none of you know, that's where I'm from. Probably shouldn't be saying that. Anyway, that's where my granda used to live. He now lives elsewhere. I will not say, because I don't want people giving my granda shit. And believe me, it's not for his sake, it's for your sake. Anyway, so my granda lived up in Bishop's Court, outside of the actual estate. It was off near itself. And I would go up there every day. After school, I was there. On the weekend, I stayed over. During the holidays, I practically lived with him. Now, a lot of you know about my granda from certain other stories I've told in and out of videos, especially in the video where I called out my childhood bully. You know my granda's a fucking legend. Anyway, I keep getting distracted, folks. I'm very hyper at the minute. Anyway, so I would go to my granda's every day, every fucking day. And this was during the summer. Now, my granda always favoured the bottle. Rather be beer or the odd time a little bit whiskey back then, but mostly like Guinness. But on this particular day, he had a big case of Budweiser. Now, my granda was always hell for drinking while watching TV, and then he would take a little beer nap. And I always wondered, what is it about beer? My granda always told me it was bad for me, but, he drank it, so what was the big deal? So, one day, my granda went to go to the shop. Now, when my granda would go to the shop, it was usually in the town, Downpatrick to be specific. And he would go to the shop, usually Asda or Lidl or Poundland or something like that. So, my granda would give me two options. I could either go with him to the shops, or I could go around to the estate and play with my friends. Now, the plan was there. I could either just go and play with my friends, or I could go back to the house and try some beer. What do you think I picked? I'll tell you what, I wasn't going out with my friends. So I told my granda I'm going to go to my friends. He was driving and I was on my bike going to call for my friends. And I went around the corner and I waited until the car drove past and was out of sight. I pedaled the whole way back home. And he had locked the front door. And I was like, oh, shit. So I went around to the side, and there was this, my granda had built this house himself originally. Little history for you. Bishop's Court was originally a RAF camp and base years ago from, when would it have been? 1950 to 1990, something like that. I believe so. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, so it was like the house was originally like a shed where they kept parachutes in. So my granda made this into a house. And anyway, he had like this wee what was the name he used to call it? The laboratory. I would call it a place to go out and smoke, but he had another name for it, something fancy. And there were two doors, and they were locked as well. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes! Now, the way our windows were is like it wasn't a big open window where you could like stick your whole head out. The way the windows were, it was like just a glass frame and like a wee small little hatch which you could open and let air in. Now, there was one window that wasn't like that, and that was the back bathroom window. In this house, my granda had two bathrooms. One with a toilet and a bath, and the one near his bedroom, which was for the shower, and there was like a sink in there, and I think the boiler was in there, and then on the roof was the hatch to get to the attic. Anyway, so I had gone around, I had opened the window, I basically just tried my best to open that thing, and luckily it left it open a wee bit, so I was able to pop the wee holding thing up and open the window. I crawled through, went through the bedroom, opened the door, and I was in the kitchen. I saw the big Budweiser thing. Now, this is when it happened. I went and opened it, but me being a dumbass didn't think he's going to notice that. Apologies, folks. I've got a runny nose at the minute. There we go. Anyway, so I had, I'd opened it and I wasn't thinking that, like, oh, he's going to notice this. I had ripped the thing to shreds and I got the Budweiser out and I spent a good hour trying to figure out how to open it, only to find out you could just twist it. Because I'd always seen my grandma using like a beer opener and stuff like that. So I was sitting, holding it up against things, bashing it, trying to use my teeth, only to find out all I had to do was twist it like any other bottle cap. So, I got it open, I looked at it, I smelled it. What the fuck? It smelled weird. So, that's the only thing I thought back then. And I said, right, if I sip it and I don't like it, what was it I was thinking? If I sip it and I don't like it, I won't finish it. So my dumb ass thought I would chug it because I was trying to get drunk because everyone seemed happy when they were drunk. Not that I was an unhappy child. I was a very troubled child, but I wouldn't say I was exactly upset. Anyway, I necked the whole bottle of Budweiser, sat back, scraping my tongue with my teeth, and then I threw up. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. Only after a couple of minutes. That was that. And I threw up for about a good 15 to 10 minutes. And then I left. And I went and hung out with my friends. I was bragging to them like, oh, I drank my grandma's beer. Like, I'm so cool. And then after a few hours I went home and I saw my granda waiting for me in the living room. He always did this. And I knew exactly. He was like, did you enjoy your beer? I ran into the bedroom and he gave chase to me. And he chased me all around the house. And eventually I just bolted up the fucking street. I bolted up the fucking street. He got in his car. And he was looking for me. And I was talking like to these older kids. Because like Bishop's Court's a very small place and everyone kind of knows each other. So I was talking to the older kids. and I was telling them my granddad's looking for me. I was talking to him for about half an hour, and I see these lights coming around the corner, and it's my granda. So I jumped into this long grass area near the park. So like the park was here, and then there was this big open field that had overgrown, so it was like a bunch of long grass. I jumped into it, and I stayed still, and I saw my granda driving. Where the fuck is that wee bastard? And I shit you not, I shot myself, went home, and I took my punishment. My granda didn't hit me, nothing like that. You know, my granda was very good to me. It's a bit too good to me. And yeah, that's the story of my first, like, trying beer. Sorry, folks! My phone died. I'm back now. But yeah, folks, that's the story about my first ever drink. First time ever trying a beer. And I look back on it and laugh. I'm not sure if my granda remembers. I'll have to ask him, but I had some good times up there, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little story time. If you would like me to do more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. Now, I'm going to leave it here, folks. Hope you enjoyed, hope you had a great time, hope I got a laugh out of you. And yeah, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good one.